listening to Speaking with One Voice with Rodney Payne. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, topics you'd like discussed on the show, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at rpayne@onevoiceinc.org. That's rpayne@onevoiceinc.org. You can also search for us on Acast, Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Just look for Speaking with One Voice. Now, here's your host, Rodney Payne.
Hello and welcome to Speaking with One Voice. I am your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. We are back again with another episode of Speaking with One Voice, the podcast devoted to adding value to you and your leadership team. As always, thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for liking, rating, and subscribing to our podcast on the various platforms. We appreciate you. Make sure you find us. We're at Rodney R. Payne. That's on social media as well. We'd love for you to follow us. We'd like to hear from you as well. Also, how can we help you? We are here to serve. I've got time on my calendar. You can book right from my website, rodneyrpayne.com. We can talk about what we might be able to do in helping you and your business. We are still gearing up for Live to Lead. Want you to be a part of that Live to Lead OKC 2026. It is time. That event is going to be October 19th, and I want you in the room at Metro Tech. We will also have some virtual options as well. So make sure that you visit our website where you can find more information at rodneyrpayne.com. And yes, we've just did this in the last 30 days or so. We've launched our fourth book. It's called Every Man Needs a Six Pack. And it talks about 6 men every man needs in his corner to win in life and faith, in leadership, and in legacy. Pick yours up today. They are available on Amazon.com. Also, we are available for workshops. And we have 6-pack experiences. And coming soon, we're going to have an online product just for you to help you to grow it within your organization and within your infrastructure of men that you have in your life. Let's get back to it. We started last week by talking about culture. And we talked about the smell test. Well, today I want to talk about silence is a culture too. Silence is a culture too. And the thought behind this is that what people don't say actually is a policy or ends up being a policy that nobody voted on. They didn't say it, but it becomes culture. As Sam Chan says, culture is the way we do things around here. And so when you have people who don't say anything, but then they adopt a certain process, that silence, it wasn't voted on because nobody said it, but it becomes our way of doing things. So I want you to think about it from this perspective. You're in a meeting. Come on, leader. You're leading your meeting. And any good leader is always going to ask, do I have any comments, questions, feedback? And you hear crickets. Who's been there? Raise your hand where you had the meeting and you're asking for feedback and there is nothing. And then when you go and say, okay, is everyone good? We all agree. You hear a yes. They say yes. They nod. They affirm that they're with the decision, only to go to the water cooler or the parking lot and start talking about how they disagree with where the company is going, where your brand is going. Now, I gave you a platform. I gave you an opportunity to speak and you didn't speak. As a matter of fact, you voted yes and to move forward, but then you walk out of the room, go down the corridor, you go to the parking lot, you go to your car, you get with your group of friends, your infrastructure, your inner circle of infrastructure here, and what you say is completely opposite of what you said in the room. You were silent when you had the platform, but now you have so much to say. Has any leader ever experienced that? That can be so frustrating. And here's the thing. Silence can be mistaken for peace because no one says anything to you. You can think everything is okay. There's a survey of 600 U.S. workers that found roughly 6 in 10 employees are hesitant to speak up. That's 60%. And then 61.3% say they regularly watch coworkers stay quiet even when they disagree. They know that because we've talked before the meeting. Your team, they talk to each other. They know what they believe in and don't believe, but we don't say anything. That was on CNBC. And so I want you to understand that there is a difference between a quiet room and a peaceful room. See, they're not the same thing. A quiet room is simply quiet, where peace means that there is agreement, there is harmony. Peace suggests that we're all on the same page and we're going in the same direction. We're all in the same boat, rowing the same direction. We understand that. Whereas silence or quiet doesn't mean anything other than there's quiet in the room. So it leaves everything to chance if you consider it that way. So now, how we're all on the same page, what that means is that no one wanted to be the one that said something. So being on the same page can be a figure of speech, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean that we are actually on the same page. Just because we're quiet doesn't mean we're on the same page. What same page means is that we are, again, in harmony and going in the same direction. So what I want you to think about is, why is it that people don't want to say anything in that room? How is it that they will have a differing opinion but are unwilling to share? I want to submit this for your consideration today. Many times they are unwilling to share because of the culture of the room. If you are one who does not invite engagement, people are feel like they will be singled out, they'll be rejected, they'll be made fun of, they'll put their job at risk. They're less likely to speak in that room. That's a silent culture, and silence can be a killer. So understand this. There are people, I know you have these people. Raise your hand if you have a person on your team that is always the loudest in the room. I mean, they are always barking something. Doesn't mean it's right, but people don't talk based on personality and behavior style. So if someone's overly aggressive and they talk all the time, one who is less aggressive will sit back and let them talk. They may have a differing opinion, but it's not worth the fight to try to get a word in edgewise. So I want you to understand that just because you're the loudest person in the room doesn't mean you're the most honest person in the room. Just because you're saying it out loud doesn't mean you're saying it well. And understand, many leaders are strong personalities. And because they're strong personalities, it becomes difficult for their teams to have interaction and dialogue with them for fear of retaliation. So, as a leader, I want you to make sure that you revisit your own personal culture. Do you create a safe space for your team to actually have authentic and conversations that are really going to help you to grow? Or do you lead in a way of fear that stops them from speaking? Just because you're a bully doesn't mean you're good at what you do. Even though you can sometimes get some, I call them false positives, where when you bark, the team gets it done, they get it out, so you feel like you have to bark to get it done. That may be an effective output, but your workplace culture is not going to be good. So we have to understand, what we don't want is, we don't want a silent culture. That a silent culture means that you are missing valuable input, valuable feedback that can shape the direction of your organization and help you to get there. And remember, loud doesn't mean honest. Okay, remember that. So as we continue to move through this silence as a culture too, I want to talk about, I want to challenge, no, not challenge, talk about how people, leaders, get the unintended consequence of silence. Sometimes we as leaders actually train silence. We, we- we're responsible for training. What do you mean? Well, one study found that 39% of employees said no one felt safe being fully honest with their boss. And 29% said their culture actively discouraged speaking up at all. That's from Leadership IQ via Forbes. So when you think about that, that's training people. Don't disrupt my process. Don't disrupt my leadership by offering an opinion. So when people don't feel comfortable, when people struggle, the direct result of that is the unintended consequence of silence. And so now you have a culture that depends solely on you. And I've talked about this, and I'll talk about this from time to time. I believe in leadership extension, not leadership duplication. Why do I always say that? Because leadership duplication means you want everyone to do just what you do to be a great leader, just like you are. Now, I'm not challenging your leadership. You're a phenomenal leader. But what I will do is I will challenge your capacity. If you give me 10 leaders in a room, and this is almost any universal room where there are peers, if you take the nine and you connect them to extend their knowledge, the nine are always going to be smarter than the smartest one who's by themselves. So if you have a room where people are silent, you're missing opportunities to be extended because your culture does not support having someone else to engage and add to the process. Man, that is so good. I may take that note for myself. You got to really understand that you have to have a culture where it's okay to add value in the room. See, the moment you shut down somebody for disagreeing, the room from that point on remembers it. They talk about it outside of your presence, and they know, well, you can't say anything because if you say something, you remember what he did to Bob. He went in on Bob. They're going to think that. Remember, she was really tough to Nancy. They're going to remember that. And now you have a culture that says, we're not talking in meetings. And then you're in meetings as a leader and you're frustrated with the silence. Listen, as a leader, I ask every room I'm in for feedback. And I don't ask for feedback so that you won't talk to me. I don't ask for feedback so that you will give me an attaboy and say how well I did. I'm asking for feedback because I want to be better at what I do. I want to deliver to my teams. I want to help you grow. And I can't do that if someone's giving me false positives saying that I'm doing well when I'm really not. See how the tone is expressed from the top is what happens below. You build leaders. If you're a barking leader, you build leaders who bark. That's how it works. Now, no one announces, "Hey, the rule is this is what we do." But because it's natural for us, it's not new for us. This is what we do. We don't want that in our space. We don't want that. And here's the thing. When you find out too late, here's how it comes out. Everybody knew it, just nobody said it. Come on now. Everyone knew it, but no one said it. So you find out about it, but you find out about it late because you were not allowing people the liberty to speak. Your culture was one that trained your team to be silent. Listen, you are listening to Speaking with One Voice with your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. I am always glad to be here with you to add value to you and your leadership team. Remember, we have Live to Lead coming up October 19th, Oklahoma City, and we will also have a virtual option where you can get in on this. I want you to be a part of what's going on in this room. Go to rodneyrpayne.com, get your tickets today, and the price is going up very soon. So make sure you get in there and also check out our VIP experience. And finally, if you would like to sponsor and perhaps have a vendor table there, we have opportunities for that as well to help bring this great event to our city. And don't forget, stop by rodneyrpayne.com or amazon.com and pick up my latest book, Every Man Needs a Six Pack. Get a copy for you and six men, and let's start some community groups together and keep growing as men and growing as leaders. Ladies, I got something coming out for you later on, but right now I'm focusing on the men. So let's get back into this culture thing. As we're talking about, silence is a culture too. So let's look again. I want to get to this coach's challenge. I'm adding a challenge in the culture series because I don't want you just to identify the problem. I really want you to correct the problem. I want you to shift your culture. So I'm going to be giving you things every week. Did you do your homework last week? Did you write down your three things? Did you have your secret shopper show up and get those three things? Did you pick one that we're working on to get from new to natural? Let's make sure we're doing that. This week, our one practical shift is we're going to create one moment this week where disagreement is welcomed out loud and not just tolerated. So I want you to have your disagreement moment. Now, it's not something that happens organically. You're going to plan for it. You're going to be in your meeting. You're going to say, okay, right now we're going to have a disagreement moment. This moment is for those of you who genuinely disagree with what I'm saying. I want you to have the floor. I want you to verbally, vocally, out loud disagree. And I promise you, there's no retribution. This is all for us to grow and get better. It's not a gripe fest. It's just that we don't all have the same opinions. And I need your opinion. Our brand needs your opinion to be our best. So we're going to work to have this disagreement. Can you see this already? Oh, my goodness. Now, here's the key. As a leader, I'm going to challenge you to stack the deck. What do you mean stack the deck? Well, I'd like for you to play a card that says whatever the disagreement moment is about, that it is one that there'll be a disagreement. So I'm not saying make it a softball layup, but make it something that's challenging for us that we know we have varying opinions upon, but no one will actually say it. I want you to make that your moment. I want you to plan this moment. And the key is set up the game rules. What are we going to do? I'm gonna give you the topic. I'm gonna give you my perspective. Then everyone in the room has the opportunity to disagree. Not everyone will, but I would like to hear those who disagree and why they agree, why they disagree. Then maybe even those who agree, why they agree. It could go either way. But the thing is, I want the disagreement. It's easy to say yes, yes, yes. But when you have ones on your team who agree and ones on your team who disagree, that means they disagree with each other. So now let's have the moment. And let's scribe it. I want you. As a matter of fact, I would almost invite you to record that moment and look at that transcript and watch how much you grow from a disagreement moment. When you say we have these, the next step is you have to now, once you've had the moment, take the data and do an immediate feedback. How did you all feel about having a disagreement moment? What was it like? Did you enjoy that? Was that good for us? And then after you take the results, and then you make a decision to add something new that becomes natural. Now let's go back and see what was the benefit. I promise you're going to have a quantifiable success in this process that will show you how it worked. And then you as a leader have to go back and have that time with yourself. Before, they wouldn't talk to me, but when they talked to me, we got this much better. It's quantifiable. Now we've had a safe place to do this, and now we have a process where we can do it and makes it safe. So maybe they don't start week one starting to disagree with you, but if we add a disagreement moment when appropriate into our agenda, we keep learning. Are you getting anything from this? My goodness, I want you to let me help you. How do we get this disagreement moment? Well, one thing you can do is you can put it out there what you see. Then you can say, okay, everybody, what am I missing? This is a soft way to get started. It's not saying you're wrong, but it's what am I missing? Now, when you do this, you know what they're going to do? They are going to be completely silent. That's it. They're not going to say anything. Now, here's where you come in as a leader. You're going to patiently wait through the silence. You're not going to rush in and try to continue to press the meeting along. You've already set it up. This is our disagreement moment. What am I missing? And wait. And then somebody is going to push back. Someone's going to take a stand. Somebody's going to say something. And when they do, I want you to applaud them and thank them for sharing, thank them for their feedback, because what they have done is they have given you the opportunity to have this disagreement moment. Celebrate them out loud, even though they don't agree with you, but the other people in the room need to know that it's safe. I'll give you a story. I was on my walk a couple of days ago. I'm out and I've got my cardio going. I got a good rhythm going. Heart rate is up. And I passed by a man who was going the same direction as me, but I'm moving faster. So as I'm closing the gap, he is walking a beautiful German Shepherd. Oh, this dog was beautiful. Obviously, the dog hears me before the owner hears me. The dog kind of looks back and it's kind of like, I see you back there. And the closer I get, he looks back again like I see you back there. So I'm not real smart. I'm not going to tell you I'm a brilliant man, but I begin to veer off to the right and put some distance between me and this man and his beautiful German Shepherd. I'm not going to walk within reaching distance of this dog. I'm not going to do it. So I go off the path. I get onto the grass. Now I'm closing the gap, but I'm also increasing distance. So I'm putting about 25, 30 yards between us. Well, when I get to a certain point, the man moves off the path a little bit. So there's about 35 yards between us. And the dog turns around and he's looking at me like, I'm just waiting on you to get a little closer. And I get a little closer, and guess what he does? He lunges and he barks. Now I'm 30 yards away, so he can't get to me. And the owner says, "Oh, he's fine. He just wants to play." I said to the owner, "You know that, but I don't know that." And so I'm staying over here. Why did I tell you that story? You tell them it's safe to offer feedback, but they think you're like that German Shepherd, just waiting for them to say something, and you're going to pounce. Well, if you celebrate and don't pounce, then you'll get the culture you want, where silence will be overwhelmed and you can come from the silence and have conversation. Everybody wants to feel safe. And I just want you to know that my rhythm picked up, my heart rate went up. I ran a little bit faster till I increased the distance to a couple of 100 yards away. And you best believe I kept looking over my shoulder to make sure of where that dog was. Now, here's what I want you to do. The last step of this process in this coach's challenge is to follow up privately with someone who's been quiet and ask them not why they're quiet, but ask them, what are you really thinking? Tell me what's on your mind. I want to hear from you. See, it may not be that they have a problem speaking at all. They may have a problem speaking in front of people. They may want to feel safe. And so if you give them that opportunity in a private feedback session, you're going to kill the culture of silence. If nobody pushes back when you open up the floor, that is not a healthy culture. That's a damaged culture. If no one will say anything, if they won't tell you, if you give them the opportunity and you make it safe and you celebrate and you do all this and no one says anything, your culture is unhealthy and you need to address the health of your culture. Listen, that is all for my time. I want to thank you again for tuning in to Speaking with One Voice. We are here each and every week to add value to you and your leadership team. We'd love to hear from you at Rodney R. Payne on all of our social media. RodneyRPayne.com is our website. Get your Live to Lead tickets, pick up your book, Every Man Needs a Six-Pack, or visit our website, RodneyRPayne.com. Schedule some time so we can talk about how we can help you change your culture within your organization. There are techniques that we can help you with to grow in that way in your organization. Listen, that's all for my time. Always my pleasure. Thank you so much. You have been listening to Speaking with One Voice with your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. Until next time, my friends, let's keep growing together.
You've been listening to Speaking with One Voice. Please remember to follow Rodney Payne on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Rodney R. Payne. We'd love to hear from you and get your feedback, so please feel free to leave us comments. And if you would, rate and subscribe to the podcast, we'd appreciate that as well. Don't forget to set up for notifications so you can get the latest updates and social media posts and get new podcasts when they're released. As always, use the hashtag Speaking with One Voice or simply SWOV on any of your social media posts. On behalf of Rodney Payne, thanks again for listening.